So, what's this chat gonna say? Nothing. Alright, so we've rested. We're gonna give this a couple minutes for people to come in. I may even tweet about this, my god. Who is she? Oh yeah. Oh! Was not expecting that sound effect. Ooh. Boo boo. Boo boo. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. Do 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 do. The result. That is me. There we go. Done and done and done. Oh! Seismic activity. Okay. Alright, let's see what all that banging's on about. Okay, so this seems to be like a little... Everyone seems to leave. Let's have a chat to this chap down here. Hi. What have you been doing here? Doing my duty. The Draxons attacked and prompted additional guards on the inside of the temple. Normally a road only stations guard at the temple entrance. Have there been any more Draxons sighted? Just brief sightings. They're creeping around here, giving our best scouts, a good chase. Whose road? Oh, he's the one who's prevented the Draxons from getting in here in the first place. Oh, it's a she. She runs the guards. If it wasn't for her, we'd all be dead by now. Excuse me, must get back to my duties. What the? So there's a statue here of a guy who looks like he's checking his own pulse, but in his elbow. Elbow. Seems to be like a food place. Oh, looks delicious. Can we have... Oh, we just walked under a table. Terrific. Who? Oh, you must be Ulbin. Hey, the new heroes. I heard you killed some Draxons. They'll be back, don't you think? I'm Ganderton. I'm also very sus of you. I'm Ulbin, a traveling merchant. How'd you get to this temple? I believe it was on the back of the Varini, actually. They carried me here when they found I was still alive. Where you going? I need food to sustain myself, so I'm off to get some. And then some, if you know what I mean. Some of these lizards. Everyone loves a little bit of a saucy lizard. Do you think the Draxons will be back? They'll be back. I've run across Draxons in my time, and they're all the same. They do what they're told, and they keep doing it until they're all dead or they get what they're after. They're not all dead. That's it. Bye. I await our next encounter with bated breath. I eat a lot of fish, if you know what I mean. Okay, is this another statue of another guy who seems to be checking his own pulse? Are you an actual person? No, just Varini. Hi, I'm across the hallway from you.
Is there something I can do for you?
Where am I?
You're far from your cities, if that's what you mean.
What can you tell me about the Order?
The Order and its members are living in the past. We need a new system that takes the people into account.
What can you tell me about the rebels?
The Order has dictated the law for long enough. Soon the rebellion will do away with the Order and its tyrannical-like rule.
What can you tell me about the Draxons?
I don't want to know about them. Perhaps they'll just give up and go away. Now you go away too. Be seeing you.
Cool beans. All right. I think they were suggesting. Oh yeah. So look. Then they don't seem to be the same sprite flipped over. So there seems to be a man checking his pulse and a woman checking her pulse. Hi. Galinix.
I hate to be rude, but Nostradamus.
Oh, Nortimus. Nortimus. Stop calling him Nostradamus. We're having a discussion. If you could.
It's all right,
Galinix. I don't mind them being here.
Very well, Nortimus. What do you want to do?
What can you tell me about the Vruni?
And what would you like to know about us?
Tell me about the temple.
What would you like to know about the temple?
How old is it?
I don't know. I mean, the temple is several thousand years old. It has been here since before the Soul of Ashes.
Who built it?
We do not know. Judging by the size of the rooms and the doorways, we estimate that the creators were roughly human-sized. But for that, we know nothing about them.
What's it for?
We assume it was a place of worship to some spirit. I believe the room of the Great Seal was the inner chamber. Loravus is the one who truly knows what was here. Perhaps you should look at his journal.
Where is... Someone lost a H there. Where is Loravus' journal?
His journal's in the archive of the Seal Antechamber. I've told you all I can about the temple.
What does the Order do?
The Order is everything to the tribe. Nortimus, Sorval, and myself are the current members. Sorval, of course, is dead. We've yet to replace him.
What's the Order do?
Generally, we ensure that the temple runs smoothly. We organize the defenses, provide enough food for everyone, and settle disputes that arise. We are a government in our own right.
When was the Order founded?
The Order was founded when Loravus brought his tribe here. That was 800 years ago.
Why only 3 members?
I do not know. It is one of those things Loravus would never tell anyone about. He insisted that there had to be 3, but never gave any reasons to it. To this day, we followed without knowing why.
I know why. Because if there's 1, it's a dictatorship. If there's 2, if they split, no one can decide. If there's 3, there's a tiebreaker. Unless there's 3 different prime numbers, basically, except for 1. Wait, is 1 a prime number? I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember if there's a special reason why number 1 isn't a prime number. Now I need to Google it. Is 1 a prime number? Answer, no. Yes, so prime numbers only. Why don't you stop following this rule? Why? We have more work than 2 members could handle, but not enough for 4. Loravus knew that was he doing when he was creating 3 positions. What are the 3 positions? Are they kinky? 3 positions are keeper, minister, and researcher. What does the keeper do? The keeper is responsible for maintaining the Great Seal and being the final say in all arguments before the order. Essentially, he's the ruler of the temple. I'd like to know about the researcher. The researcher is the position that neophytes first assume, and their title is their job, research. It is to give them an understanding of the temple in all its aspects, learn its history. I'd like to know about the minister. The minister is responsible for the temple security. This includes maintaining the guards and protecting the quakes. The commander of the guard reports to Nortimus through the minister. That's my job. So you've lost a researcher. I've told you I know, I may say, not that all I know. Do you know many of the people in here? Honestly, I do not have much time to socialize. The person I interact with the most is Nortimus. I am also talking to Brotel. I want to put an end to this rebellion business. We saw Brotel, who's incidentally only 1 letter off brothel. Tell me about Nortimus. He's the leader of the tribe and keeper of the seal. I've served with this second for many years now. Do you want to be keeper someday? Oh, yeah, of course. Nortimus will probably step down soon. I believe his age is beginning to affect his judgment. What about Brotel? Brotel was once an initiate in the order, one of the most talented until this rebellion thing started. He's convinced that the order is nothing but a means of controlling the tribe. Where would he get this idea from? I do not know. Brotel has always been very passionate about everything. When he gets an idea in his head, he embraces it fully. I do not know where this will end. I can tell you little else about the people in this temple, and you're probably going to have to slaughter a whole heap of people. I guess you'll have to choose a side. You know, that seems to be what's coming. I grow weary of this. Let us talk of something else. I'd like to discuss some things with you. And what would you like to consult with me? Thanks, that's all. As you wish. I need to talk to Nortimus. Of course, go right ahead. I will not interfere. Goodbye. I enjoyed that little chat. Goodbye. I definitely made that sound like she did not enjoy that. Oh, level 20. Hello, Nortimus. So, you must be the adventurers who destroyed the Draxon camp. Raud sent word to me of your arrival. Welcome to our home, and thank you. Why can't I go into the temple wings? Oh, I guess the sparklies says no. Well, I don't... Nortimus, I gave the guard orders not to let these adventurers into the temple wings. We know so little about them that I think it best to keep to where we can keep our eyes on them. Yes, I agree. I see no reason to allow them into the wings either, for now. I'm sorry, but for now, please confine yourself to this part of the temple. We can't have strangers wandering our halls. What was that meeting about? You have come among us at the very tense time. Brotel, the one who interrupted the... I don't know why I'm giving them this voice when I think they kind of talked like this. Like, well, you know, like they had much more high-pitched, goofy voices. Instead, I'm making them sound, oh, hello. Lizard people, do you have a god asking for reasons? Yes. I was just saying that it sounds like I'm going to have to choose between the establishment and the rebellion and slaughter one of the sides. That's what I'm getting already. Brotel. Yes, let's make it creepier. Brotel, the one who interrupted the assembly, is leading a band of youth in an attempt to overthrow the order. How can they be so foolish? Why do they want to overthrow the seal? Brotel is insisting that that seal is a tool to keep the tribe in line. There are many that are listening to him. They have little faith. Is that all the seal is? A faith system? No. The seal is real. Faith powers it, though. The more the tribe believes in it, the stronger it becomes. I still kind of sound like a weird Dracula, but like a Kermity Dracula.
The less they believe, the weaker it becomes, and the greater the chance of it failing. I have read that your kind worships gods. Who's to say if gods exist? Are they real, or are they simply a manifestation of people's willingness to believe in them? Faith is everything. I've killed many gods. Oh, that's interesting. What happens if the seal fails? I must control it. If I cannot, the volcano will erupt and everything in it and around it will be destroyed.
Who's Brotel?
Brotel was once on the path of the Order, but he recently abandoned it and began this insane rebellion. I wish he would see where this foolish obsession will lead.
Where will his obsession lead?
To the destruction of this temple and all within it. This volcano is a geologic key for the surrounding mountains. If one erupts, all others will too.
How do you know all the volcanoes will erupt?
We have been here many years, you idiot. We've done a great deal of research and experimentation, some of it almost fatal. Whoever built this temple knew how to build it in this volcano. Did we not mention you're in a volcano? I grow weary discussing the rebels. Let us talk of other matters.
Can you tell me about the Vreni?
Of course. What would you like me to speak of?
Tell me about the temple.
What would you like to know about the temple?
When was it built?
We estimate it's been here for at least 7,000 years. It's the closest approximation we can make, and we have no idea how we were able to divine that. And maybe we found something that was written down and said it was this year.
Who built the temple?
Nobody knows. Sorval was the one in charge of temple research, and now he's dead. He was fascinated with those statues in the southern wing of the temple. He thought they would tell us who the creators were.
Well, I thought the statues were interesting because one looks like a man checking his foot pulse, and the other one looks like a woman checking her pulse. Tell me about the statues.
Once the pool in the center of the statues was filled with water. Those statues were powered by water. They moved. If you want to look more, look into Savel's notes.
Where can I find Savel's notes?
Oh, he should be in his quarters or in the archives. I would look in both places. Savel was in the habit of writing notes in just about every book he had.
How long have Verdi been here?
We've been here for 600 years.
That's funny. She said 800 years.
Lorvis, a wandering chieftain, was the first to find this place. He was the one who created the seal and buried the angry fire.
That's gonna be the fire, Ruby. We don't know who built this temple, only that it was built on rock and roll. Boo! What is the angry fire?
The angry fire is the soul of what inhabited this place when Lorvis found it. He flung it deep into the earth and sealed it there.
Who's Lorvis?
I already said he was the first one to come here. He was unhappy with his tribe's land, and so he set off deep into the mountains. He found this temple devoid of any living creatures. If you want to know more about Lorvis, ask Fori. She can tell you the story of Lorvis much better than I.
How did Lorvis create the seal?
Lorvis was one of the greatest preservers that we know of. His skill with magic went beyond the normal realm. He was in touch with it in a way none of us are. He used his talent to create the seal.
Soul, I don't understand.
It was a sum of fire's worst aspects, still alive and burning with rage. It was in the form of a ruby, brilliant with flames that danced within inside.
Tell me about the ruby.
The fire ruby.
That everyone said was just a myth?
The ruby is just a symbol, nothing more. There is no physical objects associated with it as far as I know.
You just said it was in the shape of a ruby. Don't you have stories about it, though?
Yes, but they're just stories. They all come of representations of our coming here. The only truth to legends is the seal itself.
How do you know the ruby ain't real?
'Cause I've never seen the ruby, nor does anyone else ever have. What is below that seal does not matter. It's the principle of what the seal stands for that's important.
What do you mean it's just a symbol?
The ruby represents the elements that Lorvus had to battle in order to get his tribe to this temple. Those include monsters, weather, and the mountains themselves.
The Draxons think the ruby's real.
Then they're chasing a ghost. There's no ruby here.
Has anyone actually checked to see if the ruby exists?
No.
Some have tried going down into the mouth of the volcano. They've not returned. Magic no help either. The seal blocks any spell from going into the core. There's no way to tell.
I do not wish to talk this further.
Fori can tell you more about the ruby and her stories. Tell me about the history of the Vareni. I told you I counted the temples. You'd learn more by reading in the archives, which I don't think you can get to.
Well, I can tell you about Outrace, which is supposed to be our race, the Order, or members of the tribe, which are interested in.
You know, honestly, I've heard so much from so many people. I have some matters I'd like to discuss. That's it for now. Must be going.
May you walk on shaded paths.
Oh, no, okay, the archives are open. I'm guessing it's only going to be that book on the floor, but let us have a quick squizzle. Oh, hello. And it's too far away to read the books. This book is covered in books and scrolls, however, there's nothing that catches his eye. But the fact that this is visible makes me think maybe after I read something else, something might become relevant.
Prince of Paganasta by Trogari. My darling, please forgive me of my obsession. I have sought the ultimate for so long now that I can no longer tell one adventure from another, and time has little meaning. Long have I sought the ultimate, and it seems to have been a hard journey indeed. An unseen force seems to have hindered me night and day. Sometimes this force has gone so far as to slow time itself, so the world moves in slow motion. Someone right-clicked. On my last quest, the malicious spirit even stole some of my hard-earned items from my very hands. Never again did I see these items, and many paths were blocked because of the loss. Recently, I found myself in a new land. It's fabulous. I must admit it was refreshing after the seeming eternity I spent in that alternate plane I'd often found myself. I was almost at my wit's end with that place. The citizens, we've lost an extra T, but the citizenry of this new land seemed to be under a spell. They were very brief with me and offered almost no information as to what was needed to be done. Many times their questions seemed more like statements. Even those that knew something seemed misinformed. One fellow asked that I visit Morgoth's tomb. I looked for days and days for such a place, but I could never find it, nor did the fellow say anything more about it. I became obsessed with the exercise and began to run and jump everywhere I went. I could write books on the amount of jumping I did, but I do not wish to bore anyone. Looking back on it, it was more tedium than excitement. Amidst all the running and jumping, I somehow saved this land. Had I blinked, I feared I would have never even known.
Wait, how did you run and jump your way to saving the land? I'm impressed.
I swear that this was the shortest quest I've ever undertaken. Even now I don't clearly know what I saved them from. Maybe they didn't know how to jump, and now knowing how to jump, I made everything. I don't understand. I would like to tell you, my love, that I will be home soon, but I fear that there is more in store for me before I'm through. I'm beginning to despise this foolish quest. The ultimate has become drearier with every outing. Give my love to the children and remind them of me from time to time. All my love, Tavara. My dear, I found this amusing and perhaps thought you was as well. It turns out there is no Morgoth's tomb, although this fool would speak of nothing else. It did not exist. Was he a fool, or was this more of the spirit's doing? In any respect, I believe this world to be such full of inconsistencies. I'm surprised that those that rule did not see them and have them removed.
And you saved the world by running and jumping. And then you just added on the end. There was no more costume. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Nothing's interesting. All right, we have to go back, I think, to the... Actually, if I come down here, is this readable? No, no. Just making sure none of these are due to line of sight. Okay, let's... Having a good old pulse check. Anyone here? And just the Veroni standing there. Cool beans. Nice plants. Oh, okay. Hello. Whoop, whoop. Went a bit far. Bit further than I'd like. Are you 40? Yes, there you are.
They come to seek advice, even the visitors. How can I help you, young one?
I'm Ganderton.
I'm sorry. You must be the visitors that destroyed the Draxon camp. Do not look so surprised. Word travels quickly in this tribe.
Why do you call me young one?
Take no offense at my remark. To these eyes, everyone is young. When you have lived as long as I have, it is difficult to think of anyone else as old.
What are you doing here?
This is where I live. This way I am close to everyone, so they never have to go far to find me.
What do you do here?
I'm the storyteller. I preserve the legends and tales of the ages so that young ones like you can hear the history of our tribe.
Can you tell me one of your stories?
Of course, I can tell you the story of Lorifus, the first Verini to come to this temple, or a delightful story I heard from a previous visitor.
Let's hear about Lorvis.
Years ago, there was a preserver by the name of Lorvis. No greater wizard was there amongst the Vereni, and so to him fell the honour of being chief of his tribe.
Please continue.
While everyone was content to stay put, Lorvis was always looking for a better place. He would often find himself wandering the hills around his tribe's caves. One day, as he was sitting on a hilltop, he looked off in the distance and saw the gathering storm clouds. The desert wastes were kicking up around another sandstorm.
Please continue.
He looked into the valley where his people lived, knew it was going to be a harsh year. He looked to the mountains where sandstorms never went. He listened and he thought he heard a voice calling to him. Curious, he told the tribe he was going on a trip and set off, heading deep into the mountains.
Please continue.
His journey was dangerous, but Lorvis was a great wizard and warrior. Few could stand against his power, and his dick was huge. I don't know why I added that. While travelling, he heard the voice calling to him. Blind with concentration, he lost his footing and tumbled into a small valley between high peaks.
Please continue.
Recovering, he picked himself up and dusted himself off again. And then he could try again, and explored the valley. It was a pleasant little niche in an otherwise harsh mountain range. Lorvis explored it some more, then camped for the night.
Continue.
That night he was awakened by the whispering voice. He rose and followed the voice into the valley. He followed the whisper into a small alcove that looked like to be a dead end. Almost.
Please continue.
It was then that Lorvis noticed the opening in the side of the mountain. It didn't look like any cave he'd ever seen. The walls were too regular, and the floor was too smooth. Oh, quick stretch. Approaching this cave, Lorvis realized it was not normal, but carved from the rock.
Continued.
There was no sound from within, so Lorvis entered the cave. He cast spells to detect any creatures within, but his spells were mysteriously countered. Inside the cave, there was a long hallway. Great statues of strange creatures loomed in from the side, their shadowy faces reflected by light down the corridor. Lorvis headed towards that light. The light grew brighter as Lorvis approached. His eyes adjusted. He gazed in amazement at what stood before him. In the center of the room, atop a pedestal, sat a brilliant ruby. The light Lorvis had followed was radiating from the ruby. It shimmered and glowed with a brilliant ruddy light, powered from a fire that danced within the gem. Some might call it the fire ruby, but I don't know who. Lorvis was so engrossed with the ruby's flame that he unknowingly approached the gem. He managed to pull himself away only moments before he touched the gem. As he pulled his hand from the gem, the mountain shook. Then the ruby blazed brightly, and a fire sprung up around it. Lorvis quickly put up his own defences, backing away from the flames. From the fire emerged creatures of flame. Lorvis backed away from them, but they quickly surrounded him. A titanic battle ensued. Lorvis called on all his powers. He destroyed the fire creatures, but for every one he destroyed, another would rise to take its place. Lorvis was weakening, his spells were failing, and he was badly burned. He was almost defeated. As he collapsed, he gazed into the ruby, which glittered evilly. It was then he realized what he must do. Calling on all his reserves, he opened a tunnel in the floor beneath the ruby and sent it plummeting into the volcano. As it fell, a roar came from the gem, so powerful it shook the mountain. The ruby disappeared from sight, and then the fire creatures vanished. Pulling himself to his feet, Lorvis completed his spell to seal the tunnel. However, that was not enough. The volcano, apparently dormant, was building up to an eruption. Although exhausted, Corvus called in all his powers and began construction of a great seal. He bent the volcano's might to his will, but not without a great price. So much of his power was consumed by the creation of the seal that he was crippled by the effort. One of his arms was withered and useless, one of his eyes blinded. How did he get everyone to go up there after he's like, look at what happened to me? He knew that the seal would have been controlled, but he lacked the ability to do it himself. Resting briefly, he headed back to his tribe. Luckily, his journey was uneventful. He gathered all his tribe together and they journeyed here. The order was founded and we all began a new life, and for some reason, Windows has decided to pop up the recently accessed folder. Close, please. Thank you. We began our new lives. Lorvis died, but his spirits remain. With his aid, we'll be here for all time, at least until you destroy it.
Volcano got too excited. Don't worry, once it goes off, he'll roll over and go back to sleep. Yes, I did enjoy the story. Thank you.
I am so glad you could hear it. We do not get many people from outside to visit us. I believe stories are wonderful tools for finding common ground.
We'll come back to you a bit later, because maybe we should hear the visitor story. It's just, I can't keep holding my hand in front of my mouth, which is how I was doing that. So I'm going to have to try and do it with my own voice. There was a traveller here not long ago who brought me this tale. It concerns the exploits of the team from Uruk, who have quite a reputation from what I understand. Wait, why is... I just realised that this is not actually framed properly. Why, DOSBox, why? What has happened? You're supposed to automatically reframe yourself, transform... Edit transform. No. You're supposed to fit to screen, my love. That's 86 bucks. That's a capture of my screen. What's going on here? Or do I just not have this frame correctly? Oh no, it's just OBS being a dick. Okay. Please continue. You already said that. Please continue. Hey, please continue. Please continue. Please continue. Let's change the subject. Can you tell me one of your stories? Tell me the visitor's story. Okay, please continue. Ah, here we go. Legend has it that at one time there was a great evil that lurked in the Smoking Crown Mountains. This creature, whose shape was never seen, was called the Stealer, for that's what it did. No one was safe after sunset. The Stealer would claim the lives of anyone who dared to venture into the darkness. People would vanish without a trace, never to be seen again. Please continue. One night, the mayor's daughter, Lalandra, ventured out to collect... Oh. I was like, what's that noise? I have a USB floppy drive that I was copying some discs earlier. Just suddenly like, oh my god, what's exploding now? Ventured out to collect some floppy disks, water from the well. 3 armed men were sent with her. None of them returned. At the well, 3 torn and mangled bodies were found. There was no trace of Lalandra to be found anywhere. Hearing of the recent heroic slaying of the Hedgekin invasion, the mayor called for the team from Urk to come forth and destroy this Stealer. Days later, Diam, Mond, and Scratch, otherwise known as the team from Urk, arrived in town. They assured the mayor and the townspeople that the Stealer would be no more. Taking a large fee and plenty of provisions, the team headed into the mountains to find this Stealer. Turns out they had kidnapped her and returned her for extra money. No, nestled up on a hill overlooking the town. The team found a dark cave leading into the mountain. Undaunted, they entered. Please continue. The cave gave way to a large cavern, illuminated by large patches of glowing moss. It was here that the team found what there had become of all the villagers. Wait, all the villagers? All the villagers. Oh, I guess there were more people that had been stolen. Encased in smoky grey glass, all of the villagers were on display like statues in exhibit. I'm sure my last job would have had a hell of a time selling them. Please continue. Undaunted, the team pushed further into the eerily silent room. They had almost finished exploring when a shriek broke the silence. A horrible cry that hurt their ears. Out of the shadows emerged the Stealer. The creature wrapped in darkness. None of it was visible beyond a wispy black outline. The creature radiated evil in waves around it, blending the air as heat does, or bending it even. Immediately, Scritch leapt to the attack, his sword Taraxus slicing deep into the folds of the Stealer. With no effect, it was as if fighting a shadow itself, for the Stealer was immune to his attacks. Diam, or hang on, no, I'm going with Diam, drew his bow and moved into the shadows so as to draw a bead on the Stealer unnoticed. Mond prepared his spells as Scritch continued to draw the creature's attention. Moving like the wind, the Stealer leapt about the room, attacking with a fury. Scritch barely countered. Diam saw an opportunity and fired, but the Stealer dodged the enchanted missile with ease. It was like as if it was a whisper. Nothing seemed to even scratch the Stealer, and Scratch was tiring. Mond began casting a spell, but Scritch moved into the path.
At the last second, Mond raised his hands in order to redirect the spell, and a fiery ball shot skyward, hitting the ceiling. The explosion itself must have weakened the roof, for part of it collapsed, letting sunlight stream into the chamber. The Stealer shrieked and backed away from the light, drawing into itself. Diamond Mon saw the Stealer's reaction. Dime grabbed his shield and reflected light towards the Stealer, while Mon sent more fireballs at the ceiling, letting in more and more light. Soon only one corner of this chamber was in darkness, and it was here that the Stealer retreated to, perched on a treasure trove. It cowered in its ebbing darkness. This team approached it, reflecting light onto the Stealer. As the light hit it, the thing screamed, a high-pitched wail that reverberated around the room. Dude's just telling us about his D&D, favorite D&D session now. Yep. The statues of the townspeople shattered. The encasements were no match for the high-pitched wail, and people fell to the glass-littered floor in heaps. They were probably dead. As for the Stealer, as the light came upon it, it bubbled and crackled, dissolving into a black ooze that seeped into the treasure pile, turning everything it touched into an eternal black colour. Please continue. The townspeople, though bruised, were only unconscious. Bullshit. The team revived them and returned them to town. As for the Stealer, it was never known just what it truly was, but there are others that speculated it was from another place, brought to Athens by dark magics. My story is over, but the Stealer lives on. It is said that the items touched by it still hold some of its powers, and who is it to say what would happen if these items were reunited? That's the end of my story. That's a nice story, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Many of my regulars during story time were always asking for that one. Chandra said I should talk to you. Ah, Chandra's so nice. Never a better visitor has there been to this tribe. She is most kind to send you, but I believe she has overstepped her bounds this time. Okay. Can you go back about 6 pages? I turned you down. How old are you? Let's just say I'm old. Not as old as this temple, however. What do you mean? Is Chandra in trouble? No, I was telling Tandra about a problem I was having. I mentioned that I wish there was someone who could help, someone neutral. I guess she saw you as that someone. What's the problem, mate? Recently, one of the members of the Order were killed. Apparently it was an accident. I was hoping there'd be an investigation, but with the Traxon problem, there's no one to do it. So what do you want me to do about it? Well, you proved yourself by destroying the Traxon camp. If you asked to investigate it, I don't think Notamus would say no to you. Rome's too busy to do it. Very well, I'll help with it. I'm relieved. There's something unusual about Sorval's death. I don't think he was killed by accident. You must ask Notamus for permission to investigate. He's the only one who can give that authority here. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye! Take care. Oh, you picked up the barrel. Did you mean to pick up the barrel? Why can you pick up the barrel? And now you've blocked me in here. Oh, do you still need sustenance, sir? Where are you going? I'm going to... Wait, who died in the quake? I mean, we did hear a bit of a, shake at the beginning of this. People who died in the quake. That's all. Bye. I still don't trust you. Also, who died in this quake? Hey, Notamus. I know I'm across the room from you, but... Fori asked if I could investigate Sorval's death. I see. Fori always suspects foul play. Oh, still suspects foul play, eh? She always said she didn't believe in coincidences, but why choose you? She said I was a neutral party? Neutral? Yes. You've not been long enough here to be affected by this ludicrous rebellion. I don't think there'd be a problem with you in... I don't believe it was a wise decision to let these strangers walk freely about the temple. We know so little about them. So noted and correct. We do not know much about them, but if Roan didn't stop them from entering, she must have checked them. Are you willing to investigate the responsibility of conducting this investigation? What do you mean Roan checked me? Well, Roan has the ability to read thoughts from your mind. If she read any hostile intentions, she would not have let you in the temple. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do it. Excellent. I will issue a message to everyone notifying them that they shall cooperate with you fully. You may go where you wish. If you want to find anything, I expect you to report to me at once. But Nautimus, should you really be bothered with this, I'm in charge of criminal matters, and... No, Kalanick, Solva was a good friend and a member of the Order. If there's any foul play, I want to hear about it first. Fuck you. Nautimus, I must insist that I be exempt from this open-door policy. You know how critical my work is to this temple. I don't want another death from a tremor I missed. I don't want another death from a tremor I missed. I understand. I wouldn't want another life lost. Your quarters are to be exempt from this policy. Will not be disturbed. Oh, you're going to be involved in some way, aren't you? You're free to look everywhere you with the exception of the sealed chamber in Galanix's room. May you walk on shaded paths. Did that guy die in the seal room? Oh, it's just a table. That's the seal. Oh, look at you. You're a sealy seal. There's an arrow and a circle and a square/diamond, and someone's playing tic-tac-toe. This looks like someone drew a man, someone drew a snake. This also looks like could be a man, but legs are far apart, and then we've got just some straight slashes. Alright. Cool beans. Okay. Let's see if there's anywhere higher up that we can go into. Do they tell me specifically which room is which? What's this? Nothing? What's this? Oh, tapestry. Out of interest, is this how I go home? This tapestry's not been activated. Probably can't activate it until we get the thing. Oh boy. That's still happening. Do I just walk across this? No path from here. Wouldn't want to go in there anyway. Let's have a chip over here. Greetings, what business do you have here? What are you guarding? We're guarding our crypt. Someone's been looting the tombs and taking items from them. Oh, what's in there? What type of things have been taken? Jewelry, ornaments, and some other trinkets. Nothing grand, but enough to warrant duty guarding the dead. Who would do such a thing? We don't know. It's probably the rebels trying to make themselves more of a nuisance than they already are. What do you know about the rebels? I know they've been causing trouble and putting more stress on an already tense situation, as if the Draxons weren't enough for us to deal with already. I'm investigating Solval's death. Oh, of course. I should have known you were the ones we were told about. Solval was a good person. If he was indeed murdered, I hope you find the person responsible. May I enter the crypt? Of course. You weren't here when the lootings began, so we've got no reason to suspect you. Go in. Try not to loot anything. Oh boy. Yeah, that's... I just want to look. Ornately carved. Great deal of effort made into it. Hang on a minute. What are you doing here? I mean, he did say he was going to go pay his respects to the dead, but... Can I ask you some questions about Solval? I can now, paths cross. What could I help you with this time? I never really knew Solval, but if answering your questions will give me some peace, I'll be glad to. Sorry to take up your precious time. Yes, well, let's make it as quick as possible. Did you know Solval? No, I only knew his name. Where were you when he died? It's really none of your business, but I was with Chanda. She was just visiting Jakarth, and I accompanied her. The tremor occurred shortly after we got there. It knocked over one of Jakarth's statues. Did you see anyone acting suspicious?
Aside from the usual assortment of cutthroats and thieves that litter this temple, I saw no one that stood out suspicious. I really am quite busy. Can we do this another time? No, we'll talk about this now. Very well, I don't know what else I can tell you. I never met him. I don't know anything about his fucking death. What are you doing here? If you must know, I'm paying respects to the dead. I may not be Vareni, but I was here when the quake killed Sorvel. I owed my life to everything. How do you owe them for your life? I'm surprised Chandra didn't tell you. We were part of a merchant caravan that was attacked by the raiders. We were left for dead, but lucky the Vareni found us. We owe them our lives. Why pay your respects here, where you could possibly be stealing things? As I said, they saved us, so it only seems fair that I return the favor by paying my respects. Why don't you show your gratitude by helping them? We all show our gratitude in different ways. Mine is by paying respects to the dead. That doesn't really help the Vareni much, though. Perhaps it will comfort them during this trying time. I merely do what I think is right. You're fucking stealing from them. I wait our next encounter with bated breath. So even if you weren't, the dirtbag that set up you can tell how long it's been here by the layer of dust. Name on the tubes one not that you recognize. Yep, these are all dusty. Okay, that one's at least dusty. Ah, this is Sorvel's. It's sealed tight. This is good. You stay tight. No one disturb this man. Except for all the names, these two look somewhat alike. Someone got very bored of writing things for this. That one was ornately carved. This one was also ornately carved. Let me look at the thing, because I have a feeling he will be the one that's been stealing things. Oh, here we go, drive. I was just being like, where do I even find this? I'm surprised there doesn't seem to be any music anymore. They really need to come up with, just the looping doesn't seem to happen. So you get this banging soundtrack for a while, and then it just goes, oh, you were done with that, weren't you? You can deal with just sound effects, so that's Veiled. Oh, this one's still on Veiled Alliance. Kallax. Didn't really go through the Humbletons. We'll be doing that another point. Let's see. ENT Tunnels. We'll be doing that later. Earl's Temple. We'll be doing that later. Curian Mines. We'll be doing that later. The Underdark is not where we are. We've done the tribes. We're not at the Silt Sea. We're not doing the clouds yet. Good lord, we're going to be going... Oh, here we go, Volcano Temple. 17, 18, and 19. Here we go. Here's the thing about Alban. Along with Chanda, blah, blah, blah. He was here to recover. Unlike Chanda, he sees the Varandi's trust as naive and schemes to take advantage of it. He was part of the same caravan as Chanda, but was in league with the bandits. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. The bandits double-crossed Alban and left him to die. He also was rescued by the Vareni, but since discovering their mausoleum, he's been stealing Vareni gold and jewelry and melting it down so he can smuggle it back to Salentia. Alban's not very receptive to the party. Once he's been caught and thrown into a cell, however, the party can persuade him, with Sylvain's help, to cooperate with it. Um. Unlike other regions in this game, the entire volcano temple and wings has a working clock. That means at certain times of the simulated day, the Vereni go about their business. The party may need to check several locations in order to find the characters it's looking for. If the party's having a lot of troubles finding any NPC, go to the place where the Vereni eventually go, like their quarters, and wait there with the cursor in move mode. This may take a while, but they eventually return to that. It's almost like this was kind of like a test for like the whole, Ultima had their day. Ultima 7 had the day structure. I mean, I know it's not the same company, but it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe I almost now want to go see who made this game and see if any of them kind of crossed over. Just because I'm pretty sure I can't think of any RPG that had a set day and night Oh, maybe like, actually, I was about to say maybe like, some of the 3D movement games, like, like Eye of the Beholder and all that, because those were around the same time as this. We could put AI on the box, right? I just don't know if those had set, like, no one really moved around during the day in those games from memory, except for the people fighting. I think with anything, they might have changed locations on, story flag updates, or, they might be like, it's nighttime, so suddenly they've disappeared from where they were and now in a new place. Not quite the same thing, because these guys are all moving around. The party's waiting for an item to be completed, such as a weapon, scroll, or potion. The best thing to do is not leave the volcano if the party can, but rest at the campfire. This causes 8 hours to pass each time it's used. Perfect. Many encounters are based on the difficulty of the game. The more difficult the setting, the more monsters may appear. Okay, so here we go. 17. So that is where tell them about the business. Once the crypt has been robbed. Okay, so it's already like so it gets robbed. It gets robbed later. 18. Some of the dead Vereni are interred here. Yes, once looting has occurred, investigating this crypt triggers the guard to tell and inform the party of Ulban's capture. So I can't tell anyone about Ulban because I could tell them straight away that this burn is a dirtbag. And hey, maybe like keep your eyes on him. Now that I've spoken to him while he's in here, can I? Oi, keep your eye on that dude. What do you know about Sullivan? Yes, in my spare time I played elements and influences with him. Very good player. Did Solville ever mention having any enemies? No, never mentioned anything like that to me. Where were you when Solville was killed? I was here on duty. The tremor hit and I was startled as everyone. I checked the quake list and this one wasn't on it. I later found out that Solville was killed. What is elements and influences? You call it chess. It's a board game. It looks like a chess set, surprisingly. One player plays the elements and the other plays the influences. The object is to capture the opposing pieces or claim the opponent's power focus. It's quite popular here. Why is it popular? It's the only one we have. I mean, it teaches strategy and tactics. It helps children learn discipline. It's also a good deal of fun. How often did you play E&I with him? Once or twice a week. We were fairly even match. I even tried playing against better opponents, but I'm outclassed, so they're not the best at it, but, they're fine. What did you talk about? Well, he was interested in those statues in the southern wing. He kept talking about them and what they used to do. Honestly, the past is not very interesting to me, so I didn't listen that well. Is there anything else you can tell me? Did you know he was killed 2 days before his wedding? His mate went back to her original tribe. What a shame. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. That's like, what's it called? Being killed two days before your, retirement. 2 days before his wedding. Have there been any other lootings? No, perhaps with this many guards around, the looter isn't going to try again. He is. Keep your eye on him. He's a dickbag. Have there been any other lootings? No, yeah. Goodbye. It's going to happen. Keep your eyes out for that dickbag. I can tell you, he's a dickbag. Hey, what about you? No, you're just a guard. Maybe you can tell me something. What can I do for you, adventurer? What are you doing here? Guarding just in case the Draxons somehow get in here. Okay, bye. Goodbye. Yes, I would like to go to the Northern Wing. Nice to see you, dragon. Oh, here's the soundtrack. Oh, Galanex, huh? You're just hanging out here.
Hello, what do you want?
I'd like to discuss some things with you. Why did you request that you be exempt?
Like I said, my work is critical to this temple. I cannot be disturbed when I'm working on quake predictions. Solo was killed because I was interrupted. That will not happen again.
Okay, perhaps I could come by when you're not working?
I usually work all the time. I'm sorry, but you'll have to look elsewhere.
You know this doesn't mean you're a prime suspect. It's very sus.
Me? An amusing idea. I suggest you follow Notimus's idea and look for the rebels to your clue. Though Brotel insists they did not do it, they are the only ones who would want the order removed.
Thanks, that's all.
As you wish.
Must be going, bye.
I enjoyed our little chat. I did. It doesn't show on my face, does it? No. I did. Hey, look at the time.
Oh, are you a god? No, you're just normal Veroni. Are any of you people? I mean, you know, named people. We'll just walk through everything. Oh, another shake. It's the end of a room. Oh, hello. Someone's making statues. Hi. Jakath. Oh, Jakath. Yes. Hey, comrades, how are you? Come in. I don't know you, but let us sit and talk of revolution. I'm Ganderton. I'm Jakath, sculptor by trade. However, my true passion lies with the revolution. I cannot wait for the day when Athos is engulfed by it. What revolution are you talking about?
Why, the revolution, of course. Do away with the rules, orders, the rest of them. A new world where everyone is equal. No one will be above anyone else.
Why would anyone want a system like that?
Everyone does. They just don't know it yet. Once the wealth and the supplies are distributed evenly, everyone will see how great it is.
Yeah, that sounds great. Hope it happens soon.
I'm glad you are for the revolution. We'll dance in harmony when the world is equal.
So what do you do?
I create. I give birth to entire forms of art. I make a lot of men that look like they're taking their posts. To me, falls the task of enlightening the masses. In other words, I sculpt.
What are you working on right now?
I'm working on a piece that represents these trying times. I call it Draxon Plunder. It will be a Draxon checking his pulse on his dick.
Where is the piece?
It's right in front of you. Where? I haven't started it yet. The creative process is such that I take at least a month to visualize the piece before I even start to carve.
Can I ask you some questions about Sauvel?
Yes, the not dead member of that ancient order. Although he was an opponent of the rebellion, I felt he would join it wholeheartedly when the time came.
Where were you when Sauvel was killed?
Here, of course. I was working on a piece when the quake occurred. The statue I was working on toppled. I was almost crushed as well. Elovan and Kel came to help me, but I was fine.
Did you ever talk to Sauvel?
Now and then. For a member of the order, he was very tolerant towards me. Most opponents of the rebellion will not even come near me.
Did Sauvel have any enemies that you know of?
Of course he had some enemies. The rebellion is his enemy. Anyone who would uphold such a twisted system of government has an enemy in the rebellion.
Well, did he have any other enemies?
No one could hate Sauvel. He was a model for us all. It's a shame that statue fell on him. Such a unusual occurrence, too.
What was so unusual about the statue falling?
Those statues have been in here for 1,000 years. They were designed to withstand tremors 10 times the size of the one that Sorval was killed in. That statue shouldn't have fallen. Did you examine the statue? Of course. The statue had a small hole in its floor and its foundation. The tremor must have hit that floor. The base cracked and the statue fell. I could swear that I checked all the statues for flaws, though. Do you usually check them for flaws? Of course. It's one of my duties. To make sure that those heavy statues are stable enough to withstand tremors. If they're not, I have to block them off in case they fall. I have told you all I know about Sauveur.
What about the fact that someone said that they came to visit you at that same time? I'm not going to tell him to clean it. He's an artist. He knows where everything is. It's his room. I don't have the guff to to tell him he's wrong. We got ourselves a glass blower by look. Oh, my mouse cursor didn't like that one. Everything fine now. I like that we can see that obviously this guy's a glass blower, but no proof that he's actually working on anything. Kill.
Greetings. It's not often that I get the pleasure of outside visitors. What may I do for you?
I'm Ganderton.
Oh, and Kel, this is my studio. I'm a glass blower, and I have created many of the glass objects throughout this temple.
Can I ask you about Sorval? Oh, can you make this shard into a sword?
I may be able to make something with this. Can I have this shard for a while?
Sure.
Thanks. I'll get started on this right away. I should have something for you for in a day or so.
Can I ask you some questions about Sorval?
Of course. What can I tell you?
Where were you when Sorval was killed?
I was with Elovan. The quake hit and we heard something fall. We went to the sand and found Jakath passed out on the floor. One of his statues had fallen over and almost landed on him. Did you see or hear anything suspicious? Well, Elovan said before he heard someone running right after the quake, but that could have been a number of things. There were children crying and everyone was in a state of panic.
Why would anyone want to kill Sorval?
No, I don't know anyone who could have disliked Sorval enough to kill him, let alone be angry at him.
How well did you know Sorval?
Sorval was the only regular member, order member, to come and visit me on a regular basis. He was very kind. Part of his responsibilities were to keep in touch with the artisans in the temple. Like the other guy.
Did Sorval ever make mention of an enemy?
If so, he never said anything about it. Sorval was quiet. He used to go outside and stare out at the distance. Once I asked him what he was looking at. He told me he was looking at the future.
Do you know what he meant?
No, I don't. I thought Sorval might have some inner knowledge the rest of us didn't know. He looked so sad at times, as if the weight of all Athos's problems were on his shoulders. I told you all I can about Sorval.
Were any of your objects on for sale?
Oh, of course they are, but I don't think I have anything that would interest you. Alovan creates items that you might find more practical. Mine are more delicate and not much good to adventurers, except, the crystal I'm turning into a sword for you.
What do you think about the rebels?
Oh, they're nothing more than rebellious youth. I can agree with the Order's claims that they are the ones behind the robberies. It just don't make no sense.
What robberies are you talking about?
Some of the crypts have been looted. Jewelry and valuables have been taken. What would rebels do with that? We have no need for money. Have to go. Goodbye. Take care.
Let's move ourselves up to the next place. That's interesting because Jakath said that he didn't have anything to do with what's it called? With Sorval, but if Sorval's thing was to speak to all the artisans, they would have talked recently. And he would know about flaws and how to get things to break. And he could have already, laid down his piece of work and then, gone and hit that and then rushed back pretending to be down. Elovan.
Greetings. I'm Elovan, a smith by trade. Have you come on business, or are you just here to browse?
I'm Ganderton.
Well met, Ganderton. As I said, I'm Elovan. You'd be the ones that destroyed the Draxon camp. What can I do for you? I'm here on business.
I'm just browsing.
Well, if I can help you in any way, or you'll see something you like, let me know.
You currently have nothing in here. What do you smell? What do you sell?
Anything that can be forged I can do. I can make delicate jewelry or a fierce weapon for battle. Tell me what you want.
What kind of weapons do you sell?
Well, to better yourself in combat, I have assortment of weapons that give you an advantage over your foes. I could also make you a weapon if you supply me the components you need. Show me the weapons you have. Let me show you what I got for sale.
Can you do HR permits? Mate. Oh, mate, they're nothing. They're nothing. You can't. Have you got anything that glitters? Nothing. Nothing that glitters.
You ever need weapons? You know where to come.
What kind of jewelry do you make?
Gold and silver, some other things. More popular works, some amulets, gauntlets, and some cosmetic jewelry.
I'd like to buy some jewelry.
I'm sorry, but the recent lootings in the crypt have depleted my stock. Family have been buying pieces to replace those that stolen. I don't have anything. His voice has changed.
Can you answer me some questions about Sorvel?
Of course. What would you like to know about him?
Were you here when Sorvel was killed?
I was with Kel when we felt the tremor. There was a tremendous crash from down the hall. We went to see what happened. We found Jakath on the floor, passed out. One of his statues had fallen. It wasn't until later that we learned Sorvel had been killed.
Did Sorvel have any enemies?
No one I knew of. I see most people, at one time or the other. There was no reason to hate Sorvel. He was kind to everyone.
Did you see or hear anything unusual?
I could have sworn I heard someone running in the hall just after the tremor. Could have been the echoes, though. Those quakes turned things upside down for a while.
Was Jakath hurt?
Nah, I think it was the shock of losing one of his statues that made him enough to pass out. He does things like this from time to time.
What do you think of the rebels?
I think they're just a bunch of kids that haven't grown up yet. I know most of them. They're not bad kids. It's just the stage. Every generation shows it differently. That's all I can say about Sorvel's death. Well, let's change the subject. Goodbye. Be well.
I'll come back to you for... There's a Draxon here. There's a Draxon here. Oh, who's this? Oh, this is your place? Oh, Roan. Greetings. How may I assist you? What are you doing here? This is my room. What little time I have to myself I spend here. There is more to life than combat, you know. Do you ever wish you had more free time? Of course, but with all the Draxons about, I don't think I'll be getting any time soon. Is there any news about the Draxons?
Since you cleared out that camp, they're much less eager to attack us directly. They must be up to something. What could it be? Perhaps you could get something out of our prisoner.
Ooh, you've got a prisoner. That would be the Draxon I saw.
We captured one of their soldiers. Zydeco has neutralized its magical abilities, so it's helpless.
Oh, it's a Templar, that's what I meant to say.
So, rather than kill it, I'd rather kill it, but Nortimus thought it best to keep it alive.
Why do you keep referring to the prisoner as it?
Any creature that would defile or destroy the land with its magic deserves no other reference. I've had to restrain my guards so they don't kill it.
How did Zydeco neutralize his powers?
I believe he enchants the room. My devotions lie on other parts. Zydeco's methods are unknown to me.
Who's Zydeco?
Zydeco is perhaps one of our most powerful preserver. He would have been a keeper, but he refuses. It would take time away from his experiments.
Where can I find Zydeco?
He resides in the wing of the temple. His quarters are near the meditation chamber. Announce yourself before walking in there, though. When he's disturbed, large explosions generally happen.
Do you mind if I look around?
No, I don't mind.
There's some matters I'd like to discuss. Of course, Nortimus gave me permission to investigate. Well, if he gave you permission, then you need no permission from me. I'm more than willing to have you investigate. I hope that you can lay this to rest one way or another. I'd check Sorvel's quarters first. I always find it valuable to find out as much as I can about the victim. His quarters are on the wing. His room is on the right side of the corridor of the order hall. Who's that? This is Rode? She's the lady that was... the lady lizard that let us into the temple in the first place. Apparently she's telepathic and she scanned our thoughts before we came in here and determined we weren't dicks. But yet she's missed out the guy that is stealing from their, from their crypts and melting down their jewelry and is planning to sell it when he leaves here. See you later, Rode. Go with glory. Hello, Devik, by the way. Hi. Yedrath. Yes, what can I do for you? I'm just coming up with voices on a fly, and it's often terrible. I'm Ganderton. Well, mate, Ganderton, I'm Yorth. Watch Commander. What you doing here? I'm investigating Sorvel's death. Oh, so we've heard. Nortimus handed it down, so we're not going to get in your way. How can I help you with your investigation? Are we the one that's going to steal their shit? No. We're not the ones stealing the shit. We're going to stop. Well, I don't think we actually get to stop it. I would love to tell them exactly who is stealing their shit right now. We're probably going to end up killing someone over this, I reckon. Also, because I believe the thing that we want is underneath this gigantic seal in the ground. We're probably going to be snapping that open as part of this whole storyline. We're going to start a civil war. Yeah, I mean, the civil war has begun, but I reckon we're going to have to pick a side at some point. And it's probably going to be the anti-establishment, just so that we can get to the under the seal. I have not read that part of the hint guide yet, though. I'm trying to do this as straight as possible, unless I go, I want to see if I can trap... I looked at it to be like, can I trap this dude? But apparently, there's going to be, another robbery at some point in this storyline, and then they're going to tell us that they caught him. And if you remember, when we met the lady that he came in with, she was telling us about, that they were on a caravan that got attacked by bandits. And then I was like, ooh, straight away I was like, ooh, I think he was in league with the bandits. 100% correct. 100% correct. Even men in stories are 100% predictable. As in dickbags. Dickbag man. What do you know about the rebels? I don't want to say you're all predictable, but, when you hear that, someone's been a shitbag, you generally go, I know exactly how shitbag they are. Let me tell you. And then be like, oh, yeah, they did that. And they did that too. What do you know about these rebels? Here, these are their stories. Rebels killed Sorvel and made it look like an accident, but I don't believe it. They're just kids, and they'd never do anything like that. Now, to catch you up on what we've heard so far, we spoke to the sculptor, and he said, "Oh, I don't really know Sorvel. I made him once or twice. Blah blah blah. It couldn't have been me. When the tremor happened, one of my statues almost fell on me, and I fainted. We spoke to the two other artisans in that wing, and they both said, "Oh yeah, no, we know Sorvel because one of his duties was to know all the artists. So why wouldn't he know the sculptor very well?" And then one of them said, I could have sworn I heard running in our wing. But that was after I heard the thing crash, and what's his name? Jakath, the sculptor, probably fainted because he saw his statue fall, and he does that sort of thing all the time. And he's part of the rebels. So I think he also knows enough about statues to, take advantage of their flaws. So, but how he would know to do that at the exact same time that something hit, and that, that guy would be near that statue at that exact same time? Uncertain. We're getting there. We haven't gone through the guy's place, though. Everyone's kind of like, it's probably not the rebels. Like, you know, like, yeah, they're against all this shit, but, you know, they're not. Here we go. They met the sculptor and the man. And, the sculptor and the man are lovers, you're reckoning. I mean, he did die 2 days before he was due to get married. They may cause some small problems now and then, but I think it's just the rite of becoming adults. A rite of passage, if you will. What can you tell me about Sorvel? Sorvel had no enemies. Makes it hard for me to see it as anything but an accident. There's no motive. Thank you for your time. Goodbye. Best of luck to you. Can I speak to... Can I go in here? Oh, Genton knocks on the door a couple of times. I'll be right there. I don't know what I'm doing with these voices. Huh? Who knocked on the door? No one. Great. Oh, so I've got to actually be close to the door for him to actually recognize. The door went open. Door. Did I lose my chance of knocking on the door for a while? Apparently so. Because he thought I what's it called? Are these just... This is the guards area by the look of it. Hi. Sorry, don't have time to chat. We must prepare for the next Draxon attack. Cool. I was not close enough to the door, and the man seemed to think that I was... I'll be right there, for fuck's sakes, if it's no one here. This is a restricted area. What you want? I'm Ganderton. I've heard of you. You're the one that cleaned out the Draxon's encampment, right? I'm Sylvan. What do you want? Can I come in? No, unless you've got permission from Road. Okay, how am I supposed to get permission? Well, you need to have a reason to come in here, and you need to write about it. I don't make the rules, I only enforce them. Okay, gotta go. Goodbye. Pretty sure Road wanted me to talk to the... You're just gonna sit here with your face through the door? Alright, cool. You stay... Oh, no, you're going back. Alright. Road, can I have permission to go in there? I want to speak to you, Draxon. You said it would be good for me to speak to the... Mind if I look around? What are you doing here? You're having a rest? That's alright. That's alright, Dee Dee. Hope you're doing well. What prisoner are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. We already spoke to you about all this. I guess we'll come back to you later with when we have an actual reason to speak to him. Let's see. What have you missed, Dee Dee? Oh, the dude that I reckon was in on the what's it called? Okay, so no one's... Oh, this... Oh, that was a big one. That was in on the bandits thing. 100% involved. 100% involved. Also, he's stealing from the dead. This book contains some of Sorvel's notes. Ganshin reads over the last entry in the book. It's been 90 minutes and Ganatal hasn't killed anyone. I'm worried that he's ill. Somebody gets shot. No, what's it called there? It's tremors in the, because we're in a volcano.
To the purpose of these, I can only begin to imagine. They are simple mechanical housings in all of them, and were I to carve one open, I would not be surprised to find it hollow. Could it be perhaps that's... Could this have perhaps been some kind of fountain? Was this volcano ever filled with water instead? If they could be restored, there may be significant amounts their actions.
It does sound like a gunshot. I think they did not have many sound effects in it. But I think the fact that the whole screen shakes when it happens is supposed to be like, yeah, tremor.
I've become most fascinated with the beast, the most complex and unique of them all. There must be a way to access its... Oh god, I'm becoming New Zealander. And I'm certain it has something to do with the eyes.
That's all I wanted to know about it, apparently? Really? That was it? Can I get the... I'm going to take the book with me, just in case anyone tries to... What do you mean the book? The fucking door won't open. I
came in here. What? Is the door jammed? You gotta be fucking with me. The door won't open. Oh, now it opens. Oh. Leave it alone because I'm guessing this is... Oh my god, if this is who I think it is, her room is a mess. This is probably then... What's his name's room? Nautimus's. Maybe she just wanted her room locked up because her room's trashed in the corner. Nothing. Someone's leaving the popcorn in the microwave for too long. It does 100% sound like that. It sounds more like a cannon than a gun. Alright, whose room is this? Don't know. Don't care, apparently. Eh? Who's that? Whoops! Holy shit! Oh. I'm guessing that's the deco. You don't have a door for me to knock. They said to knock on the door, but there was no door to knock. You shouldn't sneak up on me like that. You've just set back a week in my experiments. You know, I'd like to... Oh, hey, who are you? I'm Ganderton. Hey, more visitors. I'm surprised. Usually people don't come to visit me. They hear the explosions and think twice about it. I'm Deco. I'm running a series of experiments. I've been working on a formula to turn gold into lead. Sorry about barging in. Don't worry about it too much. You're certainly not the first person to come barging in here, you know. And I know you won't be the last. What about turning lead into gold? Why? Oh, there's more than enough gold around here for everyone. It's lead that we don't have. Why don't you use gold for money? Money? Whatever for. It's too heavy and carry it around in large amounts. And we really don't need a monetary system. Hasn't done much for your world, if I say so myself. What can you tell me about Sorvel? He comes to visit me every now and then. Oh, honey, do you not know? Why don't you go and talk to him personally? Right to the source is always best. Oh, I can't. He was killed several days ago, and I feel bad that this is how I'm breaking it to you, but I don't have any other way of saying it. Why didn't anyone tell me? I can't believe it. People are so afraid of a little explosion that they don't bother to tell me things. No wonder I haven't seen him. How did he die? A statue fell on him during a tremor, apparently. Not a pleasant way to go. I'm sorry he died. He was a good person. What else do you do other than research? Well, I used to practice magic. I used it when required, but I'm more interested in alchemy now. That reminds me. There's a whole pile of books and scrolls in the back room. If you're interested, go ahead and look through them. I know there are some spells on some of those scrolls. Take them if you want. I know them all anyway. How many spells do you know? All of them, I think. I could scribe some of them if you'd like. Can you create a scroll for me? I can't use them, so I'll sell it. What kind of spells are you interested? I could write Flame Arrow, Blur, Minute, Meteors, Mind Blank, Chaos, or Fire Shield. I can also write one of Meteor Storm if you want. Ooh. I think I'd like a scroll of Meteor Storm. Unlike the other scrolls, this is a one-shot spell. Meteor Storm is so finicky a spell it doesn't like being written down. Ah, you can buy it for this much. I'm rich. Excellent. In addition to that, it'll take me this long. Nah, I don't want to wait that long. I don't need it that much. I'll just be selling it. Fine. I don't want to scroll right now. Thanks, though. I have to go. Be seeing ya. Have you got one that kills ghosts?
This shelf is stacked haphazardly with scrolls. You wonder why Zedeko even bothers to use the shelf. Let's get what we can out of it. Pulls out a scroll, making the crest tremble. Luckily, everything falls. This scroll has 2 spells written on it. Ah! Turns out to be a spell scroll. There's only 1 spell on it. Disintegrates. But let's see about these ones. Picking out one at random. It's in a language that Ganon does not comprehend. Goes back in the pile. Picking one at random. Uninteresting. Interaction is solid. The research and logic behind the scroll is subject. The downfall of Athos is weak at best. Apparently the author has no idea what she's talking about. This is a scroll web. It just crumbles into dust. Do these just keep... Are these just random piles? The spell of the scroll as well as the content escapes Ganon completely. Who is Ransom Stark and what is a flagship? Yeah. Gee, I wonder who indeed. Scroll on geological conditions in the temple's vicinity. It says that frequent tremors in the area, but a major quake has not occurred for years. I mean, that could be interesting. Okay, let's check this pile. The scroll, 101 ways to deal with Hilo-Doven syndrome, is a lengthy and poorly written piece that makes no sense at all. Hello, Alkia. Yeah, same thing. Blah, 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 blurb. Blurb, 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 blurbs. It's in a language he doesn't comprehend. It crumbles into dust. Nothing in that one. Learning elements and influences is an appropriately titled for this scroll. It discusses strategies and methods for becoming a better player. It is written by Zedeko and Xanthrax. That's by the way. It happens. Book is uninteresting. Genshin's time would be better looking at the piles on the floor. Most of the scrolls have down there now. Yeah. Hello, Sentinel. Oh, my boy's here. Now all I need is Fu and Dave. And maybe Grundy. And Pickle and Nick. I have a lot of boys now. That makes me sound very suspicious. Oh, Ganderton fits entirely behind the shelf. Where is Ganderton, everybody? All right. Just trying to think. What was the last thing you remember, Alkia? There's a lot that's happened, and there has not been much death that has been occurring. If we go from the end of the last stream, which I don't remember if you were in this one, but we're after the quest for the Fire Ruby. We got down here, and my God, it is muggy tonight. It's not particularly hot, but I just feel very... I have a harem. They're my lads. They're my good boys. We're after the Fire Ruby. We're in a city in a temple. We're in a temple that's a city that is inside a volcano. It looks like we're heading to civil war with one side or both. Oh, this man's inside of a wall now with these lizard people. Can I apologize for you for all those scrolls being on the floor? No. One dude has a living book. One dude is a living book. Oh, yeah. That lady was a living book. That was fun. But yeah, so there's a volcano, so we're getting some tremors from the movement. We are also investigating a possible murder. I think I know who it is, but I'm not looking at the clue books for that. I did work out straight away from speaking to a human lady that got here on a caravan that the other person that she came with was the person who organized bandits. And having looked at the crypt, because like people have been stealing from the crypt, I 100% called out that he was the one stealing from him. I was right. I need to have another lozenge. Are they evil? No. They're less evil than the rat people in the last game, and the rat people weren't really evil, were they? They were just rat people. Except for, the ones that were involved in their civil war. And of course their god was evil. They didn't know their god was evil. How the fuck is this not opening? Wow, that volcano is hitting off. In terms of we're in an active volcano. In terms of the moida, so the guy that died got crushed by a statue. I 100% think it's the sculptor. He probably had some sort of beef. Oh, yes. And this game compared to the previous game, animations are just slightly bonking fast. Well, that's because we're at 1500, bloody, yep, hang on. There we go. We've got 15,000 cycles, so I've moved us down to 10. Because we don't need to be going that fast. But yeah, I suspect it's the sculptor. He apparently was found passed out afterwards. This is the second Dark Sun game. Oh, yeah, you've missed some shit then. What have you taken? Oh, we had to cheat our way out of the first game. Because there was a really big difficulty spike in the final fight, even though we were playing on hard, and we had an absolutely ridiculous attack. So we basically gave everyone, every spell, and I also increased their battle strength, and their movement speed. But the main thing was that I got all the spells and set the entire map on fire. It was beautiful. Yeah, game went from difficult to, oh dear gods, everyone is dead. My main hitter got clacked out before he even had turn to move in a one shot, and he was at full health when it happened. And I was like, he had 185 hit points, and he got dead in one go. So it was unlucky stroke, but we tried it a couple of times, and we got closer, but sometimes it was just enough that it was just like, let's cheat our way through it, and it was ridiculous and it was fun. So I'm calling that's fine. We'll see how YouTube lambasts me when it eventually goes up. Oh yeah, definitely. But considering we were, easily killing everyone, it was just kind of like oh shit, like why is this particular last fight so hard? Hey Chandra, can I speak to you? Well, hello. I need your advice. Can you help me? I'm flattered. How could I help you? Do you know about the eyes of the beast? No, I don't know what that means. Where did you hear that? I found it a reference in Sorvel's quarters. I'd speak to Nautimus or Galanix. Perhaps it's a something order-only thing. Cool. I also need your... Oh, where are you going? I'm going to get some food. Cool. I don't think you're at all involved with the thievery that your mate's doing. I think I have to wait for plot-related things for the next robbery to occur. Okay, no one's here. Let's see if there's one shelf that seemed, that I could look at it. See if it's now something will catch my eye. Nothing's catching Genjin's eye. Fuck you, shelf. Fuck you. It still amuses me that the box says, "What do you say?" Cheating's only a problem in multiplayer games, especially when you can have so much fun cheating. I mean, like, what's it called? We could have worked our way through it, but we could have terrorized ourselves as equally as much. Just to be like, good God, you know, we've been doing this for fucking ages. And it's no longer fun to play. What's his volcano solution slot by plot? Ah, they've got the order that I should go and do things in. I mean, cool. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have looked at this. Not that I know how this goes down, but it's just like, fuck. Someone else is gonna die, is all I'm gonna say. Let's go to the South Wing. You know who we haven't seen? We haven't seen Brotel, but maybe he lives to the south. What the? Oh, maybe it's a child's toy. I think it's a child's toy. It just looks... Or maybe it's one of their children. It just looks really creepy. Oh, here's another banging soundtrack. Yeah, check on your mama, Dee. I'd say hello from me, but... Ah! The crime! This statue has fallen over, but remarkably is still intact. Gannerton marvels at the work that went into sculpting it. Gannerton notices a small pile of powder near the base of the statue. On further examination, you see it's powdered glass. Interesting. That's not what I was expecting to see. Especially since the guy said that he had checked it. Gannerton marvels, what a name. The detail of this unknown beast is incredibly detailed. Gannerton would swear someone turned a creature into look like this into stone rather than sculpted. Gannerton examines the beast's eyes and finds a small release mechanism. Triggering it, the beast's mouth opens and a scroll falls out. Yay, 1,000 points! A note! The scroll looks heavily scrolled hastily on an uneven surface. I know that I'm in danger. Before I discovered him, I thought there could not be treachery amongst us. Now I see it everywhere. I cannot even bring myself to pen his name. This very thought revolts me to no end. I know my life is in danger, but I cannot bring myself to tell the others. If I don't talk him out of the scheme, someone's going to die. I've asked him to meet me here later tonight. So, we definitely know it's a man. Although made of stone, the musician looks quite talented. Ganderton wonders how his music would sound if he was indeed real. Try blowing through the back of his head. Find out that way. As depicted, this statue is shrouded in mystery. Ganderton cannot discern anything from its speeches. This statue reminds Ganderton of the druids he has run across in his travels. It holds a laurel branch in one hand. Forget the eyes of the beast. Look at that butt. Yeah, but at the same time, it is a murder mystery. We are trying to deduce what actually has happened here. If you find a scroll that just goes, this dude did it. Where's the mystery? Okay, is this a toy or is this a child? I want to find out. Are these children that are sitting or toys? I think these are toys. For any child. Okay, so they're just as big as their adults, but probably... Oh, they're so small and tiny! Hiya, who are you? I've never seen you before. You come to play with us? I'm Gannerton. You're really close to the people who've died. The site where people died. I've never heard that name before. You must be far away to have a name like that. Wow, I hope to get to travel that far someday. What you playing?
I don't know. I think we're playing Runaround. You want to play too?
Do you know anything about Sorvel?
I don't know. Is he the one that worked on the statues? He was nice. He even let us look at his books. He used to draw these statues in his books. It was nice.
I think it just further shows that he was murdered, but then also put that scroll in the mouth, like hidden like that. Like, how would anyone really know that they'd need to check for that? What do you think of the Order?
Hey, you're a bunch of old people, ain't it? I don't know. A lot of grown-up stuff.
Can you tell me about the Rebels?
Who's the Rebels? I don't know them. Are they visitors too?
I gotta get back to playing now. Bye. What about you, little kid?
Hi, I'm also a child.
Goodbye. Have fun.
We're all children.
Good God, they're all children. Get this toy out of the hallway. Someone might trip. The Order fucking boomers. The game 2 seems a little bit more glitchy in terms of ooh, swirly. The panning's not as great. Nor is occasionally when you're walking, there will be artifacts left of people walking past you. Ooh, table, info. No one cares. Oh, hi.
Yes, can I help you?
Where am I?
You're in our temple.
Can I ask you about Sorvel?
I don't know, Sorvel. I can't tell you anything about him. Okay, bye. Be seeing you. Did you touch our kids?
No. I talked to him for a second. Did you touch the children? What race are these people? Oh.
Can I help you? You seem lost.
What are you doing here?
We live here. Why are you here? If the Order sent you, we don't want you here. This place belongs to the Rebellion.
I'm investigating Sorvel's death.
I hope you don't think we had anything to do with that. We want
to remove the Order in a less hostile way. Didn't sound that way in the meeting.
Perchard has his reasons. He may threaten, but it's only to show that we're determined. We wouldn't kill anyone. We're not like that.
Yeah, I don't think Brotel would do that.
Goodbye. Don't believe everything the Order tells you. They're the true criminals, not us. Like, we'll let you into that seal if you want.
Okay, so that circles back down to where we were. Hello, person in red. Birdhell, nice to meet you.
So, the Order sends his lackeys to me now. What's wrong? They're afraid to come to me directly. They know I'm winning, eh?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Don't pretend you don't know the Rebellion. I saw you talking to Galanix after the meeting. I wouldn't be surprised if you were sent here to spy on me.
Look, I am here to ask you some of the questions.
Questions? You won't get into my head. No one in the Order can.
Why would I spy on you?
The Order doesn't want me revealing the truth about the seal, of course. I know what that thing is really for. Why'd you come here? I'm getting tired of amusing you.
I'm investigating Sorvel's death.
I'd like to chat, but I don't have the time. Perhaps later.
I would like to discuss some things with you.
Sorry in a hurry. Some other time.
Okay, bye.
Don't believe the Order. It's nothing but lies.
Cool beans, bro. Cool beans. I don't know. I mean, they do have a name to their race. I just don't remember what it is. Vareni. They're the Vareni. I've said it enough times that I should have just gone, yeah, they're the Vareni. Oh, the one I accidentally called Xanthrax before. Verini. Ah, the adventurers, please come in and chat for a while. I'd love to hear about the outside world. I rarely get the chance to travel abroad anymore. What can you tell me about this glass pad? I've gone straight into investigation mode. Not much, I'm afraid. I use glass containers for my potions, but I don't know much about the glass itself. I usually get my glass from Kel. Should be the one to ask. I'm Ganderton. Nice to meet you, Ganderton. Looks like you've been in some fights in your time. I don't think those Draxons were much of a match for you. The Draxons can barely pick up a sword compared to me. Really, I find that hard to believe. All my encounters have shown to them to be an excellent tactician in combats. Either you're really that good or you're boasting. I'm on easy mode, mate. Who are you? My name is Xarax. You called me what's it called? Anthrax, but Xanthrax. Before. I worship the element of earth, the giver and taker of all things on Athos. What do you mean by giver and taker? Well, all things come from the earth, and everything eventually returns to it. We're made of the element of earth, and what we take from it, we give back in death. It's one of those circle things, you know. Are you saying I'm lying? No. You're saying that I'm saying you're lying. I don't mean to upset you, but I've never seen a group of Draxons that can barely lift a sword. What do? I pray, maintain the crop and fields that this temple uses, and see that we do not deplete our precious resources. I also play elements and influences with Zydeco. On occasion, I've been known to make potions for those in need. Can I ask you some questions about Sovel? He who returned to the earth. Of course you may ask some questions. I knew him well. Did he have any enemies? I don't know if anyone has truly had an argument with Sovel. He had a truly unique personality. One could not be mad at him, even if one tried. You don't think someone mad at him, do you? Yeah, some people do believe it. And I'm pretty sure he was. I find it hard to believe that anyone would want him dead. There's no motive. Where were you when Sovel was killed? I was here. The tremor began, and I heard a loud crash. I ran out to see what had happened and found Sovel's body. A guard showed up a few moments later. Did you hear or see anything strange? Children were crying, and some people were yelling. I didn't hear anything. Wait. Before the eruption, I was meditating, and I was interrupted. Someone was running in the corridor. It could have been a child, but most of them are well behaved enough not to run. Do you ever remember anything else about this running? I'm sorry, that's all I remember. How often did you speak to Sovel? Most every day. He came here in the mornings before he went to do more work on the statues. He kept telling me about the statues were the key to unlocking some of Athos's mysteries. I mean, if I think about the seal, I think the seal has 6 sections on it. And there are 6 statues. Did he ever mention to you that anything was wrong? On the day he died, he came to see me in the morning, but he seemed distracted. He was really not himself. He kept looking around. I remember him saying the strangest thing to me that day. What was it? He said, "Who can you really trust?" I asked him what he meant, but he brushed it off. I've never known him to be so secretive, but on that day, perhaps someone was after him. I don't know. I've told you everything I know about Sovel. He's returned to the earth, so another life can begin. Let us talk of other things. And there are 4 lights. There are 4 lights. Bees are bees, and there are 4 lights. What is Elements? Oh, we know it's their chess game. It's a strategy game for 2 players. One person plays the elements, and the other plays the influences. The object is to capture all of the other pieces or take control of certain power squares. Can we play a game of E&I?
Zdeko's a much better player than I. He'd be delighted if you asked him to play. He's got the advantage of me in our current game, and I can't be distracted if I want to win.
I have to leave. Goodbye.
Be seeing you.
This is more children. Oh, hello. No, get it. Come in here. There seems to be a box that is most intriguing. Dang. Vareni are distant cousins of fire newts that evolved into a peaceful culture. Vareni make their homes in volcanic regions, living in warm caves and rocky mountains. Although cavernous, Vareni do not hunt any other sentient creatures and avoid threatening the survival of other creatures. Yeah, they do seem pretty cool, if I say so myself. Brotel, is this where you live? I vaguely remember you being a red dude. No. Hello, Tallow. It's so good to meet you. I heard about your arrival from many of my tribe. What can I do for you? I'm Ganderton. Pleased to meet you, Ganderton. I'm Tallow, head chef of the tribe. It's with my supervision that all these meals are prepared. If it was not for me, the tribe would starve. What are you doing here? These are my quarters, silly. This is where I read up all my recipes that I've created. I find the perfect recipe for the next meal and mark the page so I won't forget it. Can I ask you about Sorvel? I heard that Notimus gave you permission to investigate the death. I hope you don't think there's any wrongdoing involved. Yeah, we do. What can you tell me about Sorvel? Sorvel was nice enough. I didn't associate with him, Master, or any other order members much. I did find the company a bit stifling. I do not share their beliefs. Whose side are you on regarding the seal? I don't believe in forcing my belief on anyone, but since you asked, I think the order should give everyone access to the seal. That way we should all be able to see if it is indeed magical. I'm getting tired of being told the seal did this or the seal said that. I want to see for myself. I've got questions to ask it. Where were you when Sorvel was killed? I remember being in the eating area, serving Notimus. When there was a sudden quake, Sorvel and Galenix were sent to assess the damage. 2 guards were dispatched to find them. Galenix was found, but the other guard returned with terrible news. Sorvel had been killed. Apparently one of the statues had fallen on the quake. Galenix was beside himself. Galenix is a man? I thought Galenix was a lady. Why was he so upset? He's in charge of predicting quake times. He has a flawless system, almost. He's only missed 3 quakes this year. That's too bad that one was fatal. Oh, that's why he feels so bad. Don't you think that... what's it called? His room looks like he's trashed one of the corners with paper. So I wouldn't be surprised if he, just messed it all up. Do you normally get that many quakes here? Glass powder. Something explosive. Did all the artisans have something? No, but one of the artisans said he'd heard something. Yes, all the time. Most of the time things are so small that little things are slight rumblings. Sometimes there's more violent ones there. The volcano is still active, so they say. Who says this? The Order, of course. Supposedly this volcano is kept from erupting by the seal. I wish that they would let us be the judge of that instead of just telling us. Was everyone acting sus that day? Aside from usual suspicions about the Order's workings, I don't think anyone would stand out. Oh, there is that fellow Ulbin. He always looks like that, though. Yeah, he does. Thanks. Hope I could help you. What recipe are you making next? I don't remember the exact one. I have so many. The book on the desk has it right there. It's on page 37. Cool, I gotta go. I'm gonna read you... the book's on the floor, mate. Turn to page 37. Key ingredients in the dish is the elusive groza root. Any cook worth his weight has an ample supply of these shy roots on hand at all time. The dish cannot be prepared without... Do I need to tell him what he's making? No. Alright, I think now that I know that there's like a gloss somebody has made a fire newt rave for 5e, and apparently a lot for the Varenis and Druids. That would not surprise me. Yes. I'd like to go speak to the artisans again because I think they are involved. Oh, we're going to get the bumping soundtrack. It's been a while. Actually, we're going to have a nap. We napped in the middle of the hallway. So that, 8 hours have passed. So that we can go and pick up our thing. You know what? We're going to stop by here and see if there's been any more robberies. Oh, why are you going this way? This is also the wrong way. Oh, I occasionally love the pathing in this game. Hi. Investigating Sorvel's death. What are you guarding? Cool, so there's not been a new one yet. It sounds like that rat bag's not in there at the moment. He will get caught. By George, he will get caught. To you too. Is this you, Galanix? Is just standing here? Yeah. I'm guarding the Nunya. Ta-da. What are you doing here? Nothing! Go away! I'd like to discuss some things with you. Do you know what this glass powder is from? Where'd you find this powder, may I ask? I found it near the old statues. I'm not going to tell you I think he was Mordred. I'm going to tell what's his name. Sorvel had been using some chemicals to test the statues. Perhaps the vial broke when he was crushed. I wanted that area cleaned up days ago, but with the Draxon problem I hadn't had time to get it done. Children sometimes play around the statues as magma pools. I'm not sure. There's no more of that glass around. They couldn't hurt themselves. I ain't going to say that I think he was murdered yet, even though... You don't have to be rude. Little front... Yeah. Like, fuck you. Alright, bye. I enjoyed our little chat. Yeah, sorry. I can't turn ads off entirely. I can, at least space them a bit more. Oh, good. It was a short one. It's always good to see that there was a shorty. Unfortunately, the only way to get rid of ads is to subscribe to me. I would really like to shut them off because, I don't really get much from ads itself, but unfortunately just Twitch is not allowed you to switch them off anymore. Right, are you here? Ooh, I can talk to Zedeko about the powder. No, you're good. You're good at the moment. I will go and speak to this lady. Bop, 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 bop. But we will end the stream very soon. Oh, that's sweet, Tortoise. How nice of you. Hello, I finished working on your crystal. I've never seen anything like it before. The shard actually has some magical properties. I've never made a weapon before, but here looks to be a good start. Here. Perhaps it will help you defeat those Draxons. Hey, do you know anything about this glass powder? I can't tell you what it used to be. The powder is very coarse, which suggests that the glass was thick. The most common thing is the glass is thick is used for potions. I'd ask the Deco if he knows anything more about it. He may be able to tell you more. He uses glass like this. Cool. Thick. Oh, so I've picked it up. It is sparkly glass powder. Look at that. So who's been given my magic sword? Long sword. No. Where's the crystal sword? Or is it on the ground? It's on the ground. We put it on the ground. Happy birthday to the ground. Monica got it. So what is this? There's a two-handed 3+ crystal sword that also causes blindness and deafness. We know who's going to get that. Amy the Bug Lady. My sweet girl. 2.5 times 1d10 plus 11. Yes. Giving up a 1d10 plus 3. Actually, no, these kind of like seem samey, but this one causes blindness. And so it is ultimately better to me. Oh, I vaguely remember. I don't remember how the tune goes, but yes. I remember the video from it. No, unfortunately the one that I remember most, of course, is I threw it on the ground. Happy birthday to the ground. Yeah, it was Michael Bolton. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Michael Bolton in it. I think we'll just speak to Zodeko and then we're going to call it a night. I love that like Anderson's just natural instinct is like, I'm just going to walk behind every single bookshelf that I find. Oh, I see you're looking at the E&I board. Would you like to play a game? Oh, okay, I guess I walked into it, so sure. Do you need instructions? Now I'm going to play it like it's chess. Oh. Let's play. Play the influences. Elements move first. It's your turn. How do you want to play? Mildly aggressive to begin with. Your non-committed attacks draws the Deco's pieces out to take advantage of your weakened lines. Almost immediately after it's... Oh, fudge. Good game. If you want to play, let me know. Hey, buddy. Can you tell me about this glass powder? Let's see. I need to take this from you for a moment. I'm going to see if there's any residue on the glass. That way we can see what it was. No guarantees, though. Okay, here's the glass. I trust you. Thanks, it'll just be a minute. Here he goes. Oh, this is shit. I mean, this is interesting. I need some of that potion. Where is that potion? Yes, that should heal something. Let's see what we found. You appear to be looking at your chess set, sir. You have not moved for a bit. Do I speak to you again? Well, I tried, but there's not enough of the glass left for me to get a chemical off it. There's a trace, though. But I need more of the glass. If you come across it, bring it here. Here's your glass powder back. I threw it on the ground. Happy birthday to the ground. Hey, you got more of it on this shelf up here. Ooh, thoughts. I'm gonna go into the sculptor's room. I just want to see if he's got anything. If I could investigate something. And be like, smash! And be like, oh, look! Because he's got these random lumps on the ground. No, not that one. Just don't trust this dude. Oh well, it is midnight here. I'm going to save up and we're going to come back to this. Maybe tomorrow. I'll see what I'm up to tomorrow night. Since, you know, this is my last week of working from home the entire week. And yeah, with that, we will, actually, let's see if there's anyone we can raid. We will shut down the game so I have the controls back. Twitch. And we hear myself again. It does not appear that anyone I know is on. Let us see in the unlikely event that someone else is playing Dark Sun. We'll check both Dark Suns, but so far apparently only me on that one. Let's check Shattered Lands. Oh, someone was playing it yesterday though. But it looks like the only person who has been playing this in the last couple of years has been me. I know, someone was playing it 8 months ago. Yes, survive work, Tortoise. Always survive. And with that, good night.